Welcome, Greek U Nation, to episode number 341 of the Fraternity Foodie Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Eilon, CEO of Greek University. I'm a speaker and also an author. Our third book is called From Letters to Leaders, Leveraging Your Fraternity or Sorority Experience to Land Your Dream Job. That is on Amazon, so go and pick up that book today. We call these episodes the Fraternity Foodie Podcast because there's nothing like great food to bring together college students. Fun fact, I am all about massage therapy, especially for my lower back, because I sit at my desk and I type on the computer all day long, usually for 6 days a week. So I wanted to talk to a licensed massage therapist to tell us more about the services they are able to provide to help us focus more on work instead of all of this muscular pain that we're dealing with. So our next guest is Diane Cherico. She is a licensed massage therapist and a medical massage practitioner. She's got her own practice since 1999. So she has been in business a very long time. We're talking 25 years here. Diana specialized in active isolated stretching, which is a very simple yet effective therapy for all ages that works in relieving all kinds of muscular pain. Muscular pain leads to all of these ailments, and then this therapy repairs and rejuvenates the muscle itself. Her objective is to teach everyone how to do this themselves so they can care for their body at home. What's more amazing than that? Welcome to the show, Diane.
Thank you for having me.
Of
I'm so excited to teach younger people how to take care of their bodies now instead of waiting till they're
start
older.
now. Start when they're in college
Absolutely.
instead of waiting until later in life when they're all bent out of shape,
Oh
right?
my goodness. Oh my goodness. And especially the guys that are doing sports,
Yeah.
because this could prevent lots of injuries.
Yeah, I like that a lot. We do have a lot of athletes that listen to our show, so I think they're really going to be interested in what you have to say on ways that they can care for themselves at home and make it easy. I think that's really fantastic. So let's go back to the beginning. I mean, you are a licensed massage therapist, you're a medical massage practitioner. Why did you decide to get into this particular field of work?
Well, my original calling was a nurse. I did the candy striping thing when I was young. And I always thought I wanted to be a nurse, but I got married, had kids, and then I was in an abusive relationship. So I said, you know what? When he was abusing me, it's verbal abuse, still abuse. But when you're abusing me, that's one thing. But you start abusing the kids, and I was like, okay, I got to get out of here. And so I needed a career, and nursing was just way too much schooling, way too much for me at that point. I'm a mother of two. So there was a massage school near my home, and I said, I always thought a spa for massage, but I'm thinking, you know what? It's a career. I could probably make good money, and I can't. I'm so thrilled that I went down this path because I had no clue what a healing career this really is. I get to hands-on heal. So, and then when I took my first active isolated stretch class in 2003, that was it. I healed myself because doing massage, it's a lot of work, and it's like a workout in every massage. And so then I was broken, and I was getting the migraine headaches, and I felt like I had an ice pick between my shoulder blades. I felt like my lower back was on fire. And that's what happens when you're sick and when you overwork, when you overuse our muscles.
Mhm.
And then that's when I took my first class, and the rest, as they say, is history.
Wow, I'm sure you've helped many, many people over that time. But I mean, you're right. Our college student listeners, they're sitting at their desk, they're in class all day long, and then that takes a toll on their lower back and their rhomboids, that muscle that's right between the shoulder blades. So, how can they use these isolated stretches in order to focus better on their schoolwork instead of all the muscular pain they're feeling?
Well, you can do that's what I love about these stretches is once you learn them, you
Mhm.
can do them anywhere. So even if you're in class, if you get a couple of minutes break, you can just go down, and there's one that I call the football player. Now that one, football players are like, what? But it's kind of the stance that you get in. So you can either do it when you're on a seat where you grab the pole underneath, or standing like a football player. I will show you.
All right.
And so you stand up, you hut hut, And then you bring your hands down onto your thighs, shoulders forward. And then you tuck your head all the way under like such. Come up. That's the secret. Is everybody thinks that you should hold a stretch. But when you have, see, this is our muscle fibers are like this when we're young. That's why babies can fall and have no problems. But the more you use it, overuse, abuse, accidents and whatnot, and the muscle fibers become like this.
Mhm.
So that's why holding a stretch, okay, all right, okay, is that we want this again. So that's why you do reps. So it's shh, shh, release, shh, release. So eventually you pull that muscle back to its original length when you were young, mind blown of the increased range of motion that I've got from people. Like when they first start, like I know football, weightlifters, when they first start, they have like when we do the bicep, I call it like hitchhiking to heaven because your arm is back. Shh. And when they first start, they're here. And then as they go, shh, you get higher, shh, and higher. Shh. I mean, I'm in the most flexible I've ever been in my whole life, and a little older now, but yeah. I was really young when I went to massage school. Not really, but still, I'm in the best shape that I've ever been in. And I do this 10-minute bed workout, and I get back to basics. Crunches, not like this, but with your arms over your head, laying off like on the bed. I like to do everything on the bed. It's just so much more comfortable.
Yeah.
I don't want to get on the floor. That's not comfortable. So I do it on my bed, and you put your shoulders on the bed, just your head off, and that is the best traction. A lot of people think that if you pull your head up, that's traction. You got a backward C curve in your neck. So actually, in my book, You Can If You Say You Can, the best stretch I've ever learned is called off the bed. And you lay on your bed at night, your shoulders on and just your head off. That alone is going to help you.
Oh.
Then you come back and you massage the base of your skull. You could try this in your chair. Just bring your head back, massage the base of your skull. Now bring your arms up over your head. You feel that in your pec muscles?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh my goodness. Isn't that wonderful? You get that in your pec muscles, biceps, triceps, all your rotator cuff muscles. Then clasp your hands together, turn them out. Now come up. There's the rhomboids. That
Yes.
opens those. You're going to get spontaneous adjustments, which in massage, we always say no extra charge. Oh, we love getting adjustments, no extra charge. But that one, it really helps. And then when you went to make your neck stronger and your whole upper body, you do crunches like this while you're there. So you're looking at the ceiling. That's how you get your neck really strong. There's hard to work out a neck, but this one, and again, I do reps.
Yeah.
It
Very
really,
cool.
really helps. Yeah. And then I do
cool.
my basic push-ups, but I don't do carpal tunnel push-ups. I do Bruce Lee push-ups. So you do push-ups like this, and then it makes your whole forearm stronger, and it's much better. And then of course leg lifts. That's a great workout too.
Nice. You've given us like 10 exercises. This is great. I mean, man, you can do all this stuff at home. You don't even have to leave your house. I mean, what's easier than that?
It's free. Once you know it, Ray. Once you know it, it's free. It's wonderful. I explain it all in the book. Yeah.
You see that? You get all this free advice on the Fraternity Foodie podcast. You don't even have to pay for anything.
It's the truth. It's the truth. It's wonderful. Yes.
Now,
Yes.
I was living in New York when 9/11 happened. I was actually in Long Island City in Queens when everything went down. And I actually had a view of Lower Manhattan at the time. And you were a 9/11 volunteer therapist at American Red Cross Center in Lower Manhattan, followed by 2 years as a volunteer therapist at the 100th Street Firehouse. for FDNY. Talk to us about what that volunteer experience was like with all of these people that had been through this trauma of 9/11.
It I'm getting chills just thinking about it. Going down to the pier to help, the volunteers that were working there and, families that were coming in. There were a bunch of different therapists. And this one cop that I'll still remember, he's still with me. And he says, I can't sleep. I just keep hearing the bodies, on the ground. And so I just gave him some breathing techniques, and I worked on him as much as I could. And I really asked him to go get help. I said, I encourage people, you need therapy. Please seek therapy.
Yeah.
But in the firehouse, now that was because one of my colleagues came from that firehouse, and he said he went to go visit his guys, and he's like, Diane, they need some help. And so I said, I'm in. So I went once a week, and they just ate it up, and they were so amazing. As soon as I came in, you want some coffee, tea? What can I do for you? And just to get them on the table and to make them relax. One guy, it was so funny because I finally got him relaxed, and I'm like, okay, now breathe. Teacher just teaching them how to breathe was very helpful for them. And one guy was like, okay, I'm nice and relaxed. I said, okay, so now drop your body, breathe out. All right, now go to your favorite place, nice and relaxed. Okay, where are you? On the basketball court. I was like, no. I'm talking about it on a beach with a drink. Yeah. And then when the fire bell went off, to see them all just like suit up and get out. I mean, it was really, I mean, and as much as they loved me coming, it helped heal me, because I felt like, at least everybody was like, I wish I could do something. I wish I could do something.
Yeah.
So I felt very blessed that I was really able to do something, and to get the guys, I said, do yourself a favor. Most of these guys have young kids. I
Mhm.
said, do yourself a favor, find a babysitter, make reservations, and take your wife away for a weekend. They were like, you're so smart. My wife thanks you so much. It was really quite the experience. And then one lunch, I was sitting next to the captain, and he was it was so cute. He goes, is everybody treating you okay? And I said, oh yes, everybody's very grateful for me, thank you. And he goes, you can always tell a good meal from a bad meal when you're eating with us. I mean, I'm sitting around a table with 25 men that
Yeah.
they cook the meal. They go out and they get the fresh ingredients, they cook it up, it's real.
Yeah.
And so he goes, you can always tell a good meal by bad meal by how quick people start talking. So it was fun. It was really, I was so blessed.
No,
Mm.
that's great. Yeah, we all wanted to give back somehow, some way. It's great that you found an avenue to do that. I'm sure that was very healing for you. So that's really wonderful. Now, speaking of healing, how do you help cancer patients who are undergoing various treatments?
Oh, they're very rough, because most of them are very ill after their treatments,
Hmm.
but and they also are stressed. So I'll teach them these stretches, and I can still stretch them. When I was in one of these stretch classes, because I've taken 4 of these classes, I got 95 hours of training. I was like, I'm going to do this again because there's so much to learn. But in one of the classes, one of my the lady that I was working with went for chemo treatments for lunch, and then she came back, and I said to the teacher, I said, "Oh, I can't stretch her now." Well, he goes, "Why not?" He said, "You're just stretching her muscle. You're going to help her. She's stressed out now, and her muscles are kind of tight." So I said, "Okay," and that's what made me know that these stretches are good for anybody at any time. They're so mild. So I stretch them out. And then there's a therapy called Reiki, which we all have the ability, because we all have energy in us. We all have our good energy. So when I was volunteering down at the pier, and I saw people, just putting their hands on, and people getting up going, oh my God, I feel so much better. I honestly didn't believe it. That was, so many years ago.
Hmm.
But since then, I said, I'm never going to stop learning, because life never stops teaching. So I'm going to see what this Reiki is all about. And when I took my first class, I fell in love with my teacher, and the miracles that I have performed. I mean, one lady was so ill that she couldn't even make her appointment. So I went to her house and knocked on the door. And actually, I opened the door and the dog was there. And the dog met me once, and it was a chow too, and brought me up to mom. And mom was laying in bed, and she just, we didn't even have a conversation because she was just so uncomfortable. And I
Mm.
just started working. And with Reiki, you make it happen, and then you keep your fingers closed to keep the energy in. And then I just did a full Reiki session on her, and it just, you put your healing into them, or you could do it to yourself. If you have an area, if you have a migraine or you have a headache, just say thank you for, universe or whoever your greater power is, thank you for using me as a channel for your healing. I feel the energy in my hands, and just place your hands on. And it's so healing to you and to them. So it's kind of like double, you get, double energy. It's wonderful.
That's really cool. Now, I know you love working with pregnant women as well. What are the benefits of like a prenatal massage or actually being with a labor and delivery room therapy? I mean, what's that like?
Wow. I was there twice for myself. It's totally different when you're there with a pregnant lady. But when you're there, helping a lady give birth,
Yeah.
I remembered how stressed out I was, and I remember how much pain, because there's extra weight in the front,
Mhm.
so it's pulling at your back. So for a prenatal, I'm relieving that and teaching them how to do the piriformis stretch, which I think we should do that. As soon as I'm done with this story, I think we're going to do the piriformis stretch, because the piriformis is a pain in the butt. Literally, it does. It attaches. It's in your glutes.
Uh,
So, but I massage their glutes because that's where really the pain stems from,
mhm.
and then I teach them how to do the piriformis stretch. Now, in the delivery room, their legs take the brunt because it's all muscle spasms. So their legs are all painful, and you still have to push. So I massage their legs and I do a little Reiki on them. So there's a whole thing that goes in, but my favorite is massaging the baby, because when I'm massaging the baby, it sometimes moves, and
Yeah.
they love it. They love it. But oh my God, it's so
That's
it's,
so cool.
it's so cool. It's really
Yeah.
cool. But the piriformis stretch, everybody should do this. Everybody should know this. The seated piriformis. Now there's a laying down one too, which is good, but when you're, say you're at your desk, okay,
Uh-huh.
you sit on the front 1/4 of your chair,
Okay.
right?
Mhm.
You bring one leg up on the other one. Well,
Okay.
walk your feet out so that you can see them.
Right.
Okay, now
Mhm.
bring one leg up on the other one,
Okay.
and you got your ankle on your thigh.
Yep.
So you pull up on your foot,
Okay.
and then you push down on your leg, and lean forward your whole torso, not your head, your whole torso. Shh. Breathe out. Now come back up. Go down, breathe out, push that leg. Shh. Try not to go towards your knee.
Okay. Go
Because
straight.
if you go, yeah, straight down, try to look at that foot on the ground.
Okay.
Shh.
Yeah, I was going towards my knee.
Yeah, that's cheating.
That's cheating.
Our bodies have a tendency to say, "Oh, wait, that hurts too much." Shh.
Yeah, that's what happened. It hurt too much.
Exactly. You feel that right in your hip,
You
right?
feel it. Yeah, you
So
feel
now
it.
every time you come down, you breathe out and then release. The
Yeah,
breathing is because A, you're going to get a better stretch,
right.
and two, it teaches you how long to hold that stretch.
Oh,
You got
cool.
to hold it for at least 3 seconds, and then back up. So that's the only problem with doing reps of stretches, is everybody wants to get it done.
Right.
So they go so fast. I mean, this is what you're going to do to the muscle. No, no, no. So you go down till you feel it. Release. Release. So they're slow, rhythmic. You want it to work. You have to feel it. If you feel it and listen to your body. Use that number scale 1 to 10. If you feel it at a 10, back off a little bit.
Yeah.
If you feel it at a 6, go down a little bit more. You want to, the magic number is like 8 or 9.
Okay.
because that's how you're really going to get that healing in there.
Mhm.
It's
It's so
cool, right?
it's so funny because you're talking about breathing, which is just something that we normally do. Like our body just automatically does this, right? But in your book, the book is called You Can If You Say You Can, a common sense approach to better your body, mind, and soul. There it is. So in there,
Yep.
you talk about breathing. So how do we get results in life just with breathing?
With everything. Because if you don't think about it, and but now it comes naturally to me because I learned this and I was like, oh my God, it's so true. See, if you do that stretch and you don't think about breathing, you know
Uh,
how many people hold their breath because
yeah, you probably just
it's
hold it.
hard, you hold it. If you hold your breath in a stretch or anything you're doing, you're really taxing that muscle because you're not getting that full. And most of us breathe very shallow. It's more of our in our lungs, but nah. Think of the Buddha belly. You breathe in, fill your belly. And that this took me a while to think about that because I was like, wait, if I breathe, usually my stomach came in. And then when I breathe out, my stomach went out. I was like, wait a minute, no, no. You want to bring in that, you want to get a full body breath. And I was like, oh, full body breath. It's pretty interesting. So yeah, if you take it in, fill up your belly, and then let it out, bring that belly in like it's getting pulled. That's actually a great exercise for our abdomen
Yeah,
because it not only gets the blood flowing in our body, it's relaxing to us. It helps with everything that we do. I mean, everything I do, I lift, I'm breathing, shh. And, any activity I'm doing, I'm shh. My family makes fun of me. They're like, okay, I'll be quiet. But it's very helpful. It's amazing. Just one little tweak of filling your belly and then releasing it. And then at night, when I tell everybody get into your bed and forget about everything that's going on. You don't care. Whatever you didn't do, you're not going to do now. Your job when you go to bed is to relax, sleep. But I learned early on when you tell people to relax, they're like, I am. If you tell them to drop, oh, okay. So, you do that deep breath, get into your comfortable position and drop your head, your neck, shoulders, arms, hands. Just go down and drop it all into the bed and then go to your favorite place. It doesn't matter what you have to do tomorrow, what you didn't do, that doesn't matter. It's okay. You're going to be better tomorrow if you're refreshed and you're taking care of yourself. Because if you don't take care of you, how are you going to take care of everything else, right?
sure. Very good. I like it. I like it a lot. Now, the other thing we haven't spoken about yet is eating and drinking, because I bet you have some advice in terms of eating and drinking for more energy and potentially less doctor visits. But how can we do all of that if we're on a college budget and we don't have a lot of money?
Well, think about this. If you go into the store and you got you have a choice of either chips or a little bag of nuts.
Hmm.
A lot of people choose the chips,
Sure.
which is going to give you what, a half hour of energy maybe. Now those nuts, they're going to fill you up for hours, and they're better for your body. You get omega 3s. If you have a choice for either a devil dog or a banana, you might pay a couple more cents for that banana,
Yeah.
but you're going to get more from it. Just little choices like this, and I always go for, if you read the ingredients on the stuff that you're eating, and if you can't pronounce it, should you
That's
really be
fine.
eating it? I mean, yeah, I know you're on a budget, but you're going to get more out of your food and not gain all that weight.
Yeah.
A lot of college students gain weight because of this. And instead of going for that soda, water is always the better choice.
Yeah.
It's cheaper, it's going to hydrate you better. You're not going to get those extra pounds from it. And once you start doing it, it's just getting in the habit.
Yeah.
It just takes a little while, but once you start doing it, it's like, oh, this is better. Okay,
Right.
this is, yeah. And now I'm a waterholic.
Yeah.
I'm really addicted to it.
Yeah. I mean, I do like the carbonation. I drink these bubblies all day long, like, and basically it's just carbonated water, but it has a little bit of flavoring, no sugar whatsoever. You can pronounce everything in the ingredients.
Well, that's the best. That's a great choice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good choice because I mean, I used to be addicted to Coke and Dr. Pepper. I used to drink that stuff like no tomorrow. But you know what? I just made this choice that, you know what? Number one, I didn't want the calories. I didn't want to drink all of these calories. Number two, the caffeine really wasn't very good for me either. So all of these things, I just decided to go with that. And, once you're in the habit, I don't even think about it anymore. I don't desire, the Coke and
See?
Dr. Pepper anymore. I've just completely made that switch. And so it's so much better for you, healthier for you. So, yeah, I agree with you. Once you start making these little choices, then it becomes kind of part of your routine and it's really no big deal anymore. And I think the same thing is
Exactly.
true even for like snacks and things like that, because I do like to have an occasional snack between meals. But now it's just like a fruit, just find something that you really enjoy. And so for me, I found grapefruits. I don't know why. It just is what it is. But I
They're
love it.
delicious.
They're delicious, and that's my snack. And so once you make that switch, sounds crazy. You're like, oh, what? Like no chips? But you know what? Once you make the switch, it just becomes part of the norm. And
It
that's
really does. It just becomes habit,
yeah,
it really does. And
I like that.
it's a great habit.
Yeah, I think so
Yeah,
too. Now,
I like your switch. That's
yeah.
good.
Yeah, I mean, it's just about, switching, just finding replacements, basically, if that makes sense.
Oh, for
Because I
sure.
know, like, there are certain
That's
times
what
of
it's
day that
about.
I'm craving a snack, like sometime in the mid-afternoon is for me. I'm like, I need a snack. I need like a little pick-me-up to get me to dinner. And so the grapefruit, it fits exactly what I need.
Yeah,
So
it's just enough sugar,
just
which
enough.
it gives you the sweet.
Yep.
I totally agree. And everything in moderation.
Yeah.
If you're out and everything in moderation, because we all deserve a piece of cake here and there and some
Sure.
cookies, but just not on a regular basis.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about movement and exercise. What are your recommendations there for college students who are busy?
Well, that's where my bed workout comes in,
Okay.
because it takes me 10 minutes to work out, and I work out my abs have never been as tight as they are, and my arms, like, I mean, I got muscle arms.
Nice.
And now I can do, once you start doing push-ups like this, and on the bed, because this way it's not going to hurt your hands.
Right.
And this is, I don't like doing push-ups like this. I feel like you're going to get carpal tunnel.
Sure.
That's really not good for you. So push-ups, crunches, and leg lifts. You start with your legs together,
Mhm.
and then you do your legs apart, and then you do your feet together. So you're like, you get all parts of your legs and your bum.
Yeah.
So that makes your lower back stronger, your glutes, your legs, your core.
Yeah, your ab workout. I mean, man.
Oh my God. And like we said, it doesn't cost you anything.
Yeah.
It is all in here.
Yeah.
The book is $25 on my website.
Nice.
And it's at www.getthenotsout.org. And it breaks down everything simply, because it talks like I am, like it took me years, but it's more of a reference book. It's not one of those, books. I mean, you could read about it once, find out all about the muscles and what you're stretching and what you're working out. And I simplified everything because life's too different. Life's too difficult already.
Yeah.
So I like easy.
Easy is good. So they're all going to rush to your website now and go and buy your book. I think this
I
is
hope
great
so.
stuff.
And get some good information in there.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're in Saddlebrook, New Jersey, which I actually know really well because I grew up in Rockland County, New York, right over the border there. So, where
Yes.
is a great local restaurant that I should try when I come back to visit my hometown?
Well, I tried the Old Bridge Inn, and that was in New Milford, and
Yeah,
that was so much fun. The food was great, and there was music. I like when there's music,
yeah, yeah,
So that I really liked. But we're a diner. We're more of a diner town. So I mean, like,
yeah.
like even like a chit chat diner
Oh yeah.
in Hackensack.
Yep, yep.
You're talking some really good food there,
Yeah,
We're the
those diners.
diner capital of the world here in Jersey.
Oh yeah, those diners in northern Jersey are just fantastic. And of course, you can go
Beat
there
it.
any
You
time of
really,
day, and they have such a variety of food.
oh
Like
my
every, I mean,
God.
come on.
And it's delicious. And they give you a good portion for a good amount, for a good price.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really, really good. I like that. All right. So if our listeners, if they want to get the DVD, they want to buy your book, or maybe they want to be a patient of yours, where should they go in order to connect with you?
www. Get the knots out. Get the knots out. Ugh, .org.
Love it. Get the
I used
knots out.org.
.org. I used to have .com, but somebody stole it. And I
Oh
was like, oh,
no.
geez.
Oh
I'm
geez.
so good at the body, but when it comes to the computer stuff, I'm still working on it. I'm a work
That's
in
all right.
progress like everybody else.
That's all right. Listen, you're doing great work, and no matter where you are, they're going to find you because you're
Yes,
doing
thank you.
really, really great work. So I
Thank
appreciate all of
you.
that.
Thank
Of
you.
course. Thanks so much for spending time with us, Diane. This has been great.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And good luck to everybody. Happy health.
Yes, of course. And to our listeners, if you enjoyed this conversation with Diane and all of her stretches and all of her information that's in her book, you can, if you say you can, make sure to like it and share it with other college students on your campus, on social media. And we hope to see you on another episode of the Fraternity Foodie Podcast. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.